Today there is a lot of good news from the Zaporizhia region. After Ukrainians liberated Novodanilivka and Makarivka, the next logical step became pushing Russians out of Rivnopil. In order to facilitate faster development of the events, first of all, Ukrainians focused on undermining Russian supply lines. Russian forces had already appeared in a salient, so when Ukrainians started pushing from two sides, the situation for Russians became critical. In order to buy themselves more time to get all the ammunition and equipment out of this previously important forefront logistical center, Russians tried to divert Ukrainian attention and resources away from Rivnopil by launching a series of powerful assaults in the direction of Makarivka. Unfortunately for Russians, it came at a great cost because Ukrainians controlled the hills west of the settlement, so very soon, Ukrainians retook the initiative and continued undermining Russian defense. And by undermining Russian defense in this particular place, Ukrainians could collapse the most tactically significant positions in this region with minimal direct engagements, because if we look at the topographic map, we can see that Rivnopil is located right in the center of the elevated platform. And this is exactly what happened today. Today, Ukrainian 31st Mechanized Brigade released a video confirming that they established total control of Rivnopil. Russian sources reported that Russian forces retreated to more reliable positions since Rivnopil was at a huge risk of being taken into a pocket. Some Ukrainian fighters reported that not all Russians managed to retreat, mostly because they were killed by the heavy artillery fire that Ukrainians concentrated on the key Russian retreat routes. Ukrainians tried to capitalize on the disarray associated with the retreat and push Russians even further. However, imperfect weather conditions and minefields complicated advances. According to the latest updates, Russian forces assumed positions along the tree lines immediately south of Rivnopil. However, as they are cut off by the gully from the next elevated platform under Russian control, these Russian positions remain extremely vulnerable, and many analysts agree that Russians will likely retreat behind the gully. In the meantime, Ukrainians around Livan have already started undermining Russian defense here. Their main axis of attack is toward Pryan, because if Ukrainians successfully push along this ridge, Ukrainians will once again undercut this vast elevated platform and collapse the Russian defense without bumping into the most fortified part of the front line, where Russians have a tactical advantage. Geolocated footage shows how Ukrainians are successfully chasing a small group of Russian troops from their positions just east of Livan, which Ukrainians recently liberated. Ukrainian 36th Marine Brigade posted a video showing how they are destroying Russian armored fighting vehicles near Pyatyn. Ukrainian 501st Mechanized Brigade also showed how they hunted down Russian equipment near Pyatyn. Lastly, after joining their efforts, the above-mentioned brigades even destroyed a tank on the Russian defense line. Overall, Ukrainians have liberated more than 200 square kilometers only south of Velika Novosilka. Ukrainian president recently visited the Zaporizhia front and met with the soldiers that were responsible for this massive progress. The president thanked everyone for their service and sacrifice and awarded all fighters who distinguished themselves during the liberation of the Ukrainian land.